Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Nick, back again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a bit of a commentary on a 20 Temple of Jade Serpent that we did last week. The affixes were Fortified,
5,
Spiteful,
4, 3,
and I can't remember
2,
what the last one was.
1.
We'll see when the key starts. We're playing the very standard build that most people are running these days. We just Spear, the Execute nodes once you have Forset. Oh, and Grievous, that's what the other affix was. So we decided to go right side first because we don't have like a shroud and we don't want to invis. So we just come and send Lust on these two mobs straight away. A lot of people have been just like skipping these mobs in their higher routes and going and pulling an extra pack on like one of the little side paths. But we're just sending Lust and blowing them up. Because it was a fortified key, you don't really need the Lust for the boss.
5, 4.
It's better to put it on cooldown as soon as you can. So we're moving away. These haunting Shas have just like their one important kick, which is the Fear. So that's a big priority to get that one kicked. I think it's called Haunting Gaze. Or Haunting Scream, actually. There it is. Okay, and now we run back through this way. We only pull one of these packs at a time because we don't have any cooldowns because we just came from that other side. And these splashes from these little droplets do a lot of damage if you have a lot of them at the same time with no AoE stops. So you can like single stun them, AoE stun them, fear them, everything like that. And then the water speaker has its one important kick called Tidal Burst. And then you just want to like rotate Hydro Lance kicks when you can as well. As a warrior, if you have a Weakaura that tells you when mobs are targeting you, you can spell reflect those Hydro Lances that are cast on you. These big living waters just have like a big AoE circle on the ground that you want to get out of. Pretty straightforward. This Tainted Ripple, it does quite a bit of damage on Fort. So you can like pull him close to these walls. So you can just move around the corner and just like LOS it so you don't take damage from it. But we just prefer making our healer have a great time. We've got another one of these. As you can see, the priest and healer are both standing over there near the wall. So they can just move off to the side. Reduce the amount of damage going out. All these mobs are pretty much the same. It's just like the same 3-4 mob types. Just all the way along here. So we've got more droplets. More Hydro Lances and Tidal Bursts. Now the next pack can be kind of spooky on Fortified. Because the you have 2 water speakers casting Hydro Lances out of people. So what some groups decide to do is just like CC one. Like we just mind controlled one. Just so we have one less mob to worry about kicks and interrupts for. The Surging Deluge. Move out of that one. Our healer is running on fumes, but it's fine. Healers don't need mana. Yep. And now we can break the other one out of the mind control. We can start taking it down. This is also a good spot to tank these. Is that Tidal Burst? Pretty sure there's only like one more pack in the dungeon, like towards the end, that has like the double Tidal Burst mobs in it. But at least there's not a big water elemental that also does a lot of damage going out with it. Okay, now we have Wise Mari. We're gonna get some mana real quick. Because yeah, my Thorax didn't connect. I think this boss has been the boss that I've seen like one of the most amount of deaths on. Just sheer to the washaways as it goes around, and then people get knocked up in the air. But yeah, I found a Weakaura the other day, or got recommended a Weakaura the other day, which makes this boss fight a lot easier. It has like a countdown to when this washaway happens, and then it also tracks when the knockups are going to happen, so you can like know if it's safe to cross or not. So I'll put that in the, I'll link to that in the comments section, or in the description. But I did a key with that Weakaura the other day, and it made this fight 10 times easier. So when you got the corrupted vortexes, you just move them out from the group. Just so then you have this inside ring to run around nice and clearly. You can reflect these Hydro Lances as well, but it's a little bit hard to coordinate that with the group. Some unfortunate stun timing, but it's fine. We're tanky. We'll just eat one of those to the face. So yeah, it's just rinse and repeat for the whole fight pretty much. Very straightforward. Got another beam coming out. I like to try and like get myself on like the direct backside of the beam, just so that I can see which way it's gonna go. And then I try to like move straight to where it's like gonna end, or just past where it's gonna end, so that I'm just nice and safe for the whole time.
Drop.
Not sure why I got life grip there. Feels like I just got trolled, but you know, we'll take it. Okay. Easy peasy. Now you get a little speed buff, so you can run to the other side nice and quick. End up replying to a message here real quick, so we'll just skip ahead a little bit to when I'm back to running.
See how they pour from every letter of these sacred scrolls, corrupting them, defiling them.
So here I ripped my Grief Torch, but I really should have ripped my Puzzle Box going into this pool. Just to get that extra damage with my cooldown window. We've got the Haunting Sha. Just getting ready to kick the AoE fear. The Haunting Scream. It's always a fun time when one of those goes off. So this bird does a vicious peck, which just hits the tank really hard. These lesser shards explode a lot, so you either want to like stagger them or commit like an AoE like heal cooldown or defensive. Territorial displacement is you just want to like move out of it. Does lots of damage if you stay inside the circle. These mobs just have a lot of HP.
Avoid.
We can move into the next pack while we're finishing this guy off. This 3-pack has a couple of different kicks. The Hosen has a Fit of Rage kick. The Tiger has like a nap time cast, which heals him up while he's channeling it. And the Beetle has a stun. It's called like Golden Barrier or something. And if he gets the cast off of the Golden Barrier, once you break it, it does like a massive AoE to the group. So you want to be stopping those as much as possible. Once again, I should have puzzle boxed here. But yeah, see that the Beetle shield went off. Did like 30% to everyone. Just a lot of unnecessary damage to go out when we can stop it. My priority was on the Tiger to stop the catnap. There it is. Kill off our Spyful, so then our healer can get some mana before the fight. Now, there's lots of different ways people do this fight in pugs and in pre-made groups, but the way we chose to do it is just go to 7 stacks on one and then swap. Immuning them's it's not really the best. And this was when the buff happened to the change to the buff happened, that it doesn't like just buff the healer a lot. So then we decided to give it to our Shadow Priest, because they can multi-dot and their dots don't count as actually hitting the enemies. It's only their like direct cast on the enemies. So once we find out who has the buff on them. So I have the buff, so I'm going to go stand on the person you want to give it to, and then it'll change. And then you can't get the buff back for 20 seconds, and you lose a little bit of DPS. But that's fine. It's well worth it. As you can see, the priest is doing 200k DPS, and these bosses are just melting. They're actually just evaporating. So the only thing with that buff is that once it gets to like 20 stacks, it starts like ramping up the damage it does to the person quite a lot. So if your healer can't handle it, you might want to swap it off then. But that's basically just like a healer to healer sort of thing. Or like what defensives the person with the buff has. Because they can just rip a defensive to mitigate some of the damage. But it's definitely well worth giving it to a range class that can dot things, because it'll just like absolutely fry. Finish off that guy. And we'll finish off this guy. Yeah, that buff is pretty good. So the next mob we have here is a Shambling Infestor. He does this Flames of Doubt, which is a frontal. Don't want to be sending that. It hurts a lot, and it's a lot longer than it looks. And then he'll spawn a bunch of like little Shas, which all do the little explosion when they die. So we pull in the Mist Caller, whatever they're called. Mistweaver. It has a Defiling Mist cast you want to kick. And then the Guardian does like a kick on the tank, which gives them a healing reduction debuff. So it's a little bit of a spicy combo.
Avoid.
Oh yeah, the Guardian also does a leg sweep, which you just want to get out of, or else it'll stun you and hurt a lot.
Dodge.
Beam on me. Move through. And we're safe. Now there's this Minion of Doubt, which has a big tank hit ability in it. Lots of little swirlies to dodge on the ground. But it's just the same Mistweaver, so the Defiling Mist cast you get a kick, and then the the Guardian just does that AoE circle again. So just a bunch of dodging. Yeah, that Dark Lord just hits the tank super hard.
Avoid.
It's a really good reflect on Prot Warriors. I'm still wondering if there's like a way that I could even taunt off the tank when that's about to happen, so I could reflect it. Because it does a massive chunk of damage.
Avoid.
I have to get one of those Weakauras that shows the internal cooldowns of the mob's abilities to know when it's about to come out. So I'm going to puzzle box. Going a big double pack here. There's double haunting Sha in this pack, so you definitely want to allocate
Avoid.
2 people to getting those kicks. They would aggro there, so I melded. I'm just doing a little bit of damage on that pack there. And then yeah, just killing off the haunting Shas is the #1 priority.
Avoid.
And then it's just the same 2 mobs here again. Like, once you understand how to deal with each of the different mob types in this dungeon, it becomes a lot easier. So we got another Doubts, there's a Dark Law. Tank almost gets a 1-shot. Holy, what a time to be alive. And then the Haunting Sha. So we're just kicking the Haunting Scream again. And then we have more lesser Shas. So I pop a Rally there just to mitigate some of the HP loss that people would be taking from that. Our healer is again. So we're going to kill off this Spiteful and let him get a nice full drink in. Dodging the swirlies.
Dodge.
They will one-shot you if you stand in those. It's always a tough call on this mob here when you have your Odin's Fury left over. You have to like wait for the little ads to come out so you can put like the little dot on each of them. Or just to put it on cooldown sooner so you can get it back sooner.
Dodge.
Because it's just constantly ads coming out.
Dodge.
Big frontal.
Marked by light. Your forces are weak.
So now we have Liu Flameheart. Now this boss is pretty easy for DPS. It's pretty much just a tank and healer check, honestly. As long as your tank can rotate his defensives for each of the kicks, and your healer can just like heal him up, you're pretty much fine. Because all you have to do is dodge a circle and dodge the little waves that come out from it, and it's just like, yeah, just hit the boss.
Dodge.
So you want to save your cooldowns ideally as well for 70%, because that's when she transforms into her more dangerous phase. Starts hitting the tank super hard.
Dodge.
So we're dodging. 6% until she changes phase. So we're going to pre-puzzle box now. And then we're going to start ripping our cooldowns.
Jade Serpent. Grant me
She's Jade phase.
Dodge.
See that kick on the tank just puts a massive absorb shield on. And then now the trails leave puddles on the ground. So you can run into a case where you get lots of area of denial if you don't nuke her down to 30% in this phase here. We got lucky, they overlapped the last puddles. Which is nice to see. It's not always that lucky. Sometimes you get some real jank offsets. Like there, we got a tiny bit of an offset. But not too bad. We should push it to the final phase before the tank gets kicked again. Yep. So now it turns into a dragon. You gotta be careful because the aggro table resets on this mob here. So now this just has a frontal that like targets the tank, but then once it's like casting, it then is locked in that place. So you want to move right out of it. It's a lot wider than it looks. It just has a massive AoE on it. And then range can just like bait these puddles out next to other puddles. It's pretty simple. I'm not too sure if that is only baited on range. But it did happen to be like that in this dungeon here. In this group specifically.
Marked by lightning.
And now the dragon's dead. So we have a Guardian, Water Speaker, and Mistweaver here. So I'm going to be saving my kick for the Tidal Burst.
Avoid.
Like, didn't have to hold on to it for too long because it was like one of its first casts. Tidal Burst again. Dodging circles. You can also stun those Guardians out of doing the leg sweep. We have double Guardian Mistweaver here.
Avoid.
It's going to be double denial circles.
Avoid.
The elements answer to me.
DH accidentally
Avoid.
leaps backwards into the other pack. So now we're on high defense here. Making sure we're locking down those tidal bursts. Because we do not want those to go off. Whip a Grief Torch real quick.
Avoid.
I also don't like to send my CDs on this pack here. Because the final pack of this dungeon is very spooky on Fortified. So that's why we even like saved our Lust. So we have Lust for the final pack. Spiteful. Chasing me. They have much longer arms than I do. Sag. It's good. Make sure those are kicked. Everything's looking okay.
The elements answer to me.
Open up the Grief Torch. What a fun time. Okay. And now we mentally prepare ourselves for this pack. So I'm going to be on the Haunting Sha here to stop the AoE fear. I'm going to wait for our healer to get mana. But there's a couple Minions of Doubts, and they really just punch the tank.
Dodge.
Aggro there, so I Night Elf it. Sha's dead. So now we can work on killing the Minions of Doubt, which is the next sort of
Dodge.
prio on the pack. We lose a friend. So then we get a free Grief Torch reset. Hell yeah, badass.
Dodge.
One doubt dead. Have to watch out for that breath that's going across there. Have a little Sha hitting me, so I pop a health pot.
5, 4.
Try and chase the tank down to clear. Holy. Dodging Spitefulls.
Dodge.
What a fun pack, honestly. And then we start kiting this last mob back into the boss room so we don't have to run all the way back here once we've killed the boss or killed the mob. Because we can hit and run at the same time. Alright. Of course the Spiteful has to go on me. Okay. Now, do I rebuff here? I should rebuff here. Pop it out. DH friend. Yep, there we go. We get nice and full in mana. So we're just going to stack here when the ads come out and everyone faces the boss. So then all the ads will stack in the same spot. Some people like to do it onto the pillar, but I honestly don't see much benefit in the pillar. When you can just like keep hitting the boss and everyone just stacks up. So I'm saving my cooldowns here for the ad phase. So we got to stack up here. I pre-drop my Ravager to start stacking up the strength buff from it. Drop my spear, all my cooldowns. And we just absolutely blow up this first set of ads. There we go. Now we have a Shadow Priest which has Mass Dispel, which is very good for getting rid of those buffs on people that tick a lot. So I'm pretty sure Priests can get every second set of the debuffs that go out. Which is why a lot of people in Group Finder will be like looking for Warlock or Priest for this key specifically. Just so they can get rid of the curses a lot easier. Warrior's pretty tanky for keeping the debuff on if you're a healer and you want to just like dispel someone else, because we have Spell Reflect, which reduces the damage taken by like the ticking dot part of it. We have Impending Victory, which is a massive like self heal, and then we have our Enraged Regen. But because we're on comms, I could like pretty much just like sit with them on me, and then if it's like if it does become a problem, I can say, yeah, I don't have any like self-defensives to keep myself alive. As you can see, the ads are just stacking up perfectly, just straight off the rip, because we're all just stacked up, looking at the boss. You always want to be looking away from where you want the ads to spawn, because it always jumps out of your back. Just had to rip my spear on the boss here. So see if we can get a quicker kill before the next set of ads. But I don't think we do. I think we have to play another set of ads. But that's fine. Just sit on my Odin's Fury for that.
The elements answer to me.
Ads.
So we got ads coming out again. So we're all stacking up. And look at that. Perfect. Rip a Grief Torch. Easy Master Spell. And the boss is dead. That was for my my Keystone Hero of this dungeon. Pretty fun time. I actually quite enjoy this key. It's a very fun key in my opinion. But yeah, that's gonna be the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like on the video and please subscribe. Let me know what the highest level Keystone of Temple Jade Serpent you've done, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.